And welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus on this Wednesday, August 12th, almost at mid-month already. And we've got, partly cloudy skies out there right now with temperatures in the 80s and a kind of a muggy day out there after some local areas of heavy rain overnight. And boy, oh boy, Bridgette, I'll tell you what, you got to love summertime thunderstorms, especially ones that track across the entire state. This thunderstorm complex started out in Hettinger County and basically ran right on the 94 corridor. And here's a great example of just how tight that gradient was. Here at the studio, we're right on the junction of 29 and 94. We picked up a little over an inch of rain. The airport, 5 miles north or so, 1,600, so almost an inch less at the airport, and Moorhead picking up 61 hundredths of an inch. And areas out to our west along the 95 corridor from Castleton to Jamestown to Mandan, 1 to 2 inches. Even in West Fargo, 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, while, again, 5-6 miles north of that 94 corridor, not much at all. And I know you can verify that. You didn't get anything, did you? Or little to nothing at your place?
I believe I could count 15 drops on the driveway. That's essentially it. And that's thunderstorm complexes. That's kind of how they roll. But some much needed rain for some areas. Which is great. And folks will take it, right? I was on a call earlier this morning with folks out in the Dickinson area. They are anticipating an opportunity for more rainfall. Probably Friday, I think is what he mentioned. We'll see what they get out of it. But we hope that some of those opportunities are coming up very soon.
Right. And we do have more chances for rain. So that is the good news. If you missed out, there are more rain chances in the forecast. Now, starting with today, we're looking at a beautiful afternoon if you like the summer weather. And we're looking at partly cloudy skies, mid-80s today with light winds out of the northeast, about 5 to 10. Tonight, we'll see another round of storms rolling in from the west again, and like last night, along and south of 94. So if you're north of 94, you might not even see a drop, but right on that 94 corridor and southward, could see some showers and storms with lows around 60. And then for Thursday, we'll dry things out, partly cloudy, low 80s. Same on Friday, although we'll see an increase in clouds on Friday, highs in the low 80s. And Friday, we'll see a system pulling in from the southwest. So I think we'll see more kind of widespread rain across the area instead of that narrow corridor along the 94 corridor. So we'll see showers and storms overspread the area. Friday, probably towards evening, and a better chance as we head into the overnight hours with lows in the low 60s. And the weekend is going to start out a little on the cloudy side on Saturday, but then see a little sunshine late in the day with highs around 80. Pick day of the weekend is Sunday, with highs in the low 80s. And then next week, low to mid 80s with a chance for more rain on Monday night and again on Wednesday. So still numerous chances for rain if you missed out on last night's and if you miss out on tonight's. There's still more chances right around the corner. So I think everybody eventually is going to get in on some much needed rainfall.
Well, and for those who do, we would love to hear from you. Weather and Ag in Focus, which is brought to you by TCG Wheat, would very much like to hear what you're getting for rainfall totals in your area, particularly if you have one of our Darter plastic rain gauges. You can reach us by calling the JLA Insurance phone line, 701-293-9000. You can send emails, weather or ag@flagfamily.com. We appreciate you watching on the live stream brought to us by Lighthouse Commodities. You can catch us over on Facebook, YouTube, Acres TV, especially because today we have a guest from the Steiger Heritage Club, and it's always great fun to talk about Steiger. Make sure that everyone sees what's going on as we prepare for the Western Minnesota Steam Threshers reunion over Labor Day weekend, and the highlight tractor this year is Steiger's. I want to give a big thank you to Dean Blair and his crew at Hall Precision Machine down at Milner. We had talked to him on the spring radio farm show here on WDAY radio, and he talked about his 3D printing and the ability that they have to machine parts for farmers, but sometimes they don't mind a little bit of a challenging project. So here comes Bridgette with her bread machine. And I called Dean and said, I'm going to need some help here. I have a little plastic sprocket in the bottom of my bread machine that spun out and broke. I no longer have the original pieces because I thought I'd found someone to fix them. They couldn't and didn't send me my pieces back. But I had a photo of the broken piece along with a tape line in it so you could see the measurements on there as to what needed to be fixed. And I had the bread machine. And I took all of it down to Hall Precision Machine at Milner. I'm not sure if Dean wants this challenge all the time, but I would say that if you're looking for the unique, the unusual, and above all, the fun, take your things down there for some 3D printing. Plus, he's doing a variety of parts for farms and for those of you who are doing vehicle restorations. And sometimes that hard to find part, he might be able to machine that for you. Because 3D printing is no longer just plastic. It's a lot of things. So again, that is Hall Precision Machine. They're down at Milner, North Dakota, and they did a great job for me. I hope you have a chance to use them as well. Some of you in that Kindred area, or Kinnert as it can be called, have been able to start celebrating barley days in the last couple of years. But generally speaking, there's not a lot of barley grown around Kindred anymore. And some of you may be asking, why do we have a barley day? I have the answer. So Norwegian settlers came back into that Kindred area back about 1871. And of course, a lot of farming was happening. And in the 1930s, farmers across the Great Plains as well as the Canadian prairies were facing stem rust. It's a devastating fungal disease made even worse by the drought. And so through this drought, in 1935, Kindred farmer Sam Lycan noticed something very unusual. This is truly a testament to how often farmers walked their fields, looked very, very closely at what people were saying or doing in the field, and could make adjustments on the fly. And he saw one single green rust-free barley plant standing among the rest of the diseased kernels in his crop. So he nurtured that plant to maturity, took the 18 kernels to what was then the North Dakota Ag College for testing and breeding, and that disease-resistant gene found in that harvest was very extraordinary. In fact, the T gene that was discovered in there is still valuable to resistance in modern barley varieties today. In the 1940s, the Kindred variety of barley was released to the public, and farmers have been using it for stem rust-free barley and using that technology in other cereal crops for decades. So that is why Kindred now has barley days. So, all right. Dean, I know I didn't get a chance to see your message. Did you want to still do trivia?
Let's wait till the last segment. It's going to be, yeah. So, and then we'll give our Darter Plastic Bait Up Cup away in our last segment after 1:45. So be ready for that. Have your fingers ready to dial for that correct answer for your chance for Darter Plastic Bait Up Cup.
That will be again on the JLA crop insurance phone line. That number 701-293-9000. One reminder, some of you are still out doing some spraying work in the field, especially if we're keeping an eye out for soybean aphids and spider mites in these dry conditions. Please remember, every acre sprayed on the farm is truly an investment. Even when the best herbicide can't deliver its full value because it's not measured accurately. When we think about it, there's a difference between dry volumes and liquid volumes. And sometimes folks aren't accurately measuring those out. They're not using the right measuring cups or tubes, and there can be inaccuracy in them. Really, the best way to make sure that you're hitting the target on your application rates, particularly for dry measurements, is to have an expensive digital scale on the spray trailer for formulated products. And it's usually a small investment, under $100, but it can make sure that you're putting the right volume of product out into the field. Nobody wants to under apply because then we leave problems in the field. We don't want to over apply because it's expensive. And remember, fluid ounces are measured differently than dry. It's not the same. You don't use the same measuring tools for those. And then make sure we're not skipping the adjuvants. Even when it comes to drone spraying, companies like SprayTech have now developed adjuvant lines that work very, very well in the drones because they have a more concentrated level. And so you don't have to put as much volume in there, but you're still getting the same efficacy. In fact, when I talked about Hall Precision Machine down at Milner, they carry the SprayTech lineup of those adjuvants and can help you out with them if needed as well. So also check that water. Water quality can be one of the factors that's affecting your performance with your herbicides and other products. If you have hard water with high levels of calcium and magnesium, that will reduce your effectiveness of some products like glyphosates. And those minerals often bind with the herbicide in the tank before you even spray it, just making things work less effectively. Check those pH levels too. Remember all those little cute test strips that we used in high school chemistry? Still available today and still an incredibly useful tool when it comes to checking your pH levels so you know what's happening if you're using well water versus raw water sources and more. That's just a few of the things that are going on today. Don't forget also to keep an ear out for the Ultimate Gridiron Getaway. That'll be coming up in the 2 o'clock hour with Jay Thomas. He'll be qualifying someone to go to Las Vegas because my, oh my, there's going to be a football game there. That'll be at October 10th at Las Vegas Allegiant Stadium. You get an airfare, hotel, and tickets to the game, so pay attention after 2 o'clock. Before then, we have the American Ag Network bringing us the Livestock Report, and we have our guest, Lyle Planteen, is joining us from, well, his years of experience with the Steiger Tractor Company and more after this. Weather and Ag in Focus is brought to us by TCG Wheat. In fact, we want to remind everyone that they are helping growers maximize every acre with trusted seed and agronomy solutions. Glad to have them as part of our show on a daily basis. We are also joined today in the studio by Lyle Planteen. And Lyle has a long history with the Steiger Tractor Company, and he's now part of the Steiger Heritage Club. They are going to be a massive part of the effort to bring the Steiger to Western Minnesota Steam Threshers reunion over the Labor Day weekend in Rolog as the featured tractor of the year. Rolog does that every year, and I'm excited to see Steiger is going to be the one for 2026. Lyle started working for Steiger back in 1975 and worked with them all the way through May of 1990 in the transition, moving from Steiger to Case IH at the time, with lots of product roles and types in between, including just even starting out on the line as a rear frame welder. So, Lyle, was that something you anticipated when you got there as a welder, that pretty soon you were going to be a guy doing technical training on the Steigers?
No, not really. I had just turned 19, and I was working for Bobcat down in winter, and then of course every winter they get laid off down there. So, and me and three other of my friends went to Steiger probably a week before we started, and applied, and we got on right away. Okay, so and then I started night shift over there in the old plant. My first job was building CCL frames. That's the Canadian Co-op Implements tractor that we were building at Steiger.
Okay.
For Canadian Co-op Implements. And then I started on the rear frames there. And then we were there till, in February, we were there till June of 75. Then we moved over to the new plant. Okay, so.
Where was the old plant? Because when you say new plant, you mean the one that they're currently using.
That's correct. Yep.
In the middle of Fargo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the old plant is the engineering center right now. Okay. And that was just east of the main plant. So it's probably 100-yard walk, so. Yeah.
It was easy to roll your files over to the new place.
Yeah. Well, not really, but So actually, I stayed. I gave you I think I texted you or emailed you a picture this morning, and
yes,
on the layout there, if you see the main or the old plant, which is the engineering center now, that's to the east of the main plant, and then there's a little building in between. That's where I ended up with Steiger, and that's called Technical Communications, and that was our little training center. Okay, so.
And we've got those pictures. In fact, Addison will be able to pop those into our live stream brought to us by Lighthouse Commodities. So we'll be able to see the overhead view. I think he's working diligently to bring that up for us right now.
Yep.
Again, if you're missing the live stream today, you're going to want to log in on Facebook, YouTube, or Acres TV to see the pictures that Lyle has shared with us for the day.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned working on the Canadian Co-op implements. In addition to that, Lyle, were you on the line as a welder specifically for whether it was the Bearcat or the Panther, or was it kind of whatever came on down?
Well, once we moved over to the new plant, it was whatever came on down. If it was a rear frame for any model, I welded it, so, yeah. And then, to be honest with you, we only had really two different rear frames at that time. We had one for the Wildcat, and then the other ones were all for the ST series. And that would have been from 75 till about just about 77, and then we added another frame to the works. So,
as we look at this aerial view that is on our live stream from Lighthouse Commodities, you can see it was a substantial change from the first plant to the new, much larger. And looking further to the west, there was nothing else in that industrial park but Steiger.
No, exactly right. And I think that photo was taken, sometime in 75, back in or 75 or 76, either one of those years. But I remember that's what it kind of looked like when I first started working there. So
it's a pretty big change.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
So change has happened fast. In talking with some of the other members of the Steiger Heritage Club, line changes could happen. A salesman could tell you that I need something different on this particular machine because of a specific order. As the guy on the line who was trying to keep all that going smoothly, how difficult was it? Did you feel like you were a very nimble company to be able to manage those things
Well,
at the time?
one thing I really liked about Steiger Tractor, they really listened to the input from their farmers, their farmer customers.
Hmm.
They listened to their dealers, and they listened to us product support reps in the field. And the ones that they listened to the most, of course, that had the loudest voice was the district managers, because they were the ones gathering in the money, So, yep. But anyway, so yeah, and what I liked about them too, Steiger was a can-do company. They had that attitude. We can do it. So yeah, it was fun to work for. Very fun.
I, I would imagine that stemmed from the time that the Steigers were built on farm at Red Lake Falls,
Yeah.
Minnesota, and the Steiger brothers had that attitude as well.
Well, and I hadn't met Douglas Steiger until later in my career, but and being around Magina right now, she's a direct descendant of that's Magina Hallstrom.
Yep,
Sorry.
Margina Hallstrom.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. And anyway, she's a direct descendant of the Steiger brothers, and so her enthusiasm and telling and listening to her about their past stories, yeah, that was kind of the Steiger credo, I think. So, and I like I said, it was a nice environment to work in. I really liked it. So, yep.
And Lyle, before we go to break here at the bottom of the hour, we had an emailer send in a question. What is the biggest change you think you've seen in Steiger from the time you started to the time now?
The biggest change I've seen is that the plant has probably grown. See, it was 11 acres, okay, and then now I think it's 25% bigger. Okay,
Wow.
they've grown 25%, and then Case IH has brought all kinds of technology into that plant. Most of the frames right now are welded by robot, and if you ever get a chance to go through that plant, it's really fascinating. I try to go through it once a year just to keep up what's going on.
Right.
And usually when somebody comes from out of town, they give me a couple days notice. I can arrange a tour there. So.
Now, some people will be
Hold on. I need to know when Lyle's going again because I'd like to go with. So just keep me on your list.
Okay, I'll keep you on the list, and it's generally I have a real good time when I go through there because I usually fill the tour guide up with all kinds of old information that he doesn't want.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Now, some people would say, okay, it's technology now; robots are doing it. Some people would be angry. Well, that's taking away from manual labor. How would you respond to that?
Well, when Steiger Tractor transitioned into Case IH, I would say we were down to 350 employees at that time.
Okay.
And now they're up over 400 or just about 500 employees, and rightfully so. They are producing more products there. They're producing the Case IH line of four-wheel drives, okay, or the Steiger line, and then they're producing the New Holland line of four-wheel drives, and then they're producing the New Holland construction front-end loaders and the Case construction front-end loaders there. So they've got a lot more product coming out of that place too. So
Great.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
They do.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Well, when we return, Lyle, we've got some questions we want to talk with you about. You spent some time as a product service rep as well,
Right.
and what it was like walking on those farms and working with those folks in those dealerships, et cetera, to find out more information and some of the receptivity they had. And then also we're going to talk about that transition moving from the Steiger company to Case IH, and we will continue that when we return.
Okay.
Hey, folks, do not forget, you got to do your fence check assessment at techsupport.farm. Got to make sure that your cows stay in the fence and that your security is as tight as a good fence as well. So go check that out, techsupport.farm. Also, we have a caller on the line. Terry has a question for our guest Lyle in regards to Steiger tractors. So, Terry, if you could go ahead.
Good afternoon. Well, more of just a comment. I grew up in the Kinnard area, late 70s, early 80s, and I just remember no matter where you drove, there'd be Steigers out in the field, and I remember the one time I was going down the road, and it was fairly close up by the road. That thing was so mammoth. I was just absolutely amazed. And so ever since that, I'm going to go out to Rolla just because, some of that childhood memories, I guess. So, no, it just, I just remember it being such a sight, just seeing them out there.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Jerry. You got to come out to the Western Steam Threshers reunion this year because I think we're going to have roughly around 40 Steiger tractors, different models. And
I will be out there.
Yep. And then plus you got to stop by the Expo Center because we're going to have that full of Steiger memorabilia. We'll have posters of the old literature and stuff like that, so you can go ahead and examine. And then we're going to put together the theater. I was going through my, I knew I had them, but I was going through my packages this past winter, and I got 16 millimeter films out of there. I got 8 millimeter films, cartridge films, and I've had those all digitized, and I should be able to get them back next week. And we're going to run a theater out there, and then I'll have those different films scheduled at different times throughout the day. Okay, so
is that 1976 going to be out there?
What
the bicentennial Steiger?
I think we've got one lined up, but it needs some tender loving care. So I think we do got some lined up. The fact is, we had a meeting yesterday, and I think we got one lined up, and it's going to be shown right there at the barn. So okay.
Woohoo!
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you, guys.
Thank you, Terry. And we've got another caller with a question. Kevin on line 2. Kevin, go ahead. What's your question?
Dean, this is for you.
Oh, okay. All right. What's going on?
I'm waiting for the 7 seconds of anti-gravity. I saw Alex's dogs float through the air down here, and I go, how do I get them? Anyway, that was hilarious this morning. I'm so sorry you had to throw that in.
That's okay. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate the phone call. Yeah, we were talking earlier this morning about there was some hoax on the internet about sometime this afternoon we're supposed to have 7 seconds of anti-gravity. It's AI and making stuff up. So anyway, sorry to get off the subject, guys. We thought that was a phone call regarding this.
Oh, that's okay. So, Lyle, as you mentioned, there's so many things that are going to be happening at the Western Steam Threshers reunion at Rolla, Western Minnesota. When it comes to that, how many people have been behind the scenes to do this? And is it Steiger family? Is it Steiger employees? Is it just Steiger enthusiasts, farmers who've absolutely loved the product from the start?
Yes. Okay. In all cases, the thrust of the program has really come down to the board members of the Steiger Heritage Club and then the subcommittees underneath them. So, and we had a events committee formed, and then I should mention too, we're also having a banquet. The fourth Friday, September 4th. Okay, so and that's going to be out to just east of Holly and north. And I'll think of it here in a moment, but I just spaced off the name of the. Well, I should have done that, but anyway,
that's okay.
Spaced off the name of the facility, but. So we're going to have a nice banquet there. And if you want to come to the banquet, just go to, get on the internet and find Steiger Heritage Club and just click into it. And you'll find the Steiger extravaganza right in front. There's a big red button. Push that button, and then go into it, and you can sign up for the banquet. Okay, so
I just found it. It's called Legends of Steiger.
yep.
Special guests will be Doug Steiger
Mhm.
and Murray McIntyre. Tickets are only $35, but you have to get them yet this week.
Yep.
And yes, it will be at Holly, Minnesota, is where the banquet will be held. So go check that out. That'll be an excellent opportunity to visit with so many folks.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of Steiger folks there too. So,
Lyle, as a product technology specialist, when you went to the farm to visit with farmers, how loyal were they to the Steiger brand?
Oh.
I mean, I've seen some pretty diehard Case or John Deere guys,
they were
but I think Steiger's
they
more.
were really loyal. And then after being in product support, everybody was looking for you for some sort of reason. Okay, either they had questions or they had a slight problem with their tractor, and then or the dealer needed a little more training in a certain area, and so I'd accompany them out in the field, and we would figure it out together, you know. And then by the time I left there, most of the farmers were very pleased. So
I'm sure.
Yep.
I'm sure. How did the transition go, taking from Steiger to Case IH?
Well, I mean, when we got the notice that Steiger had been sold to Tenneco and then merged in with J.I. Case Company, to be honest with you, it was a heartbreaker, you know. So, and it was really a scary time, and you know, to lighten the mood and stuff like that. During our lunch break, we'd sit around talking what the new company name was going to be and whatever else. And we were sitting around one day, and I come up with this acronym. Okay, I come up with this Steiger International. Excuse me, Case International Steiger Tenneco, or CIST, and then our motto would have been "Grow on you." We grow on you.
I like that.
Did that stick?
No,
that's too bad.
No, that was one of the first ones thrown out. So,
But there were so many proud moments in the Steiger history. Addison has a picture of the #1 Steiger at the new facility, and we'll put that up in our live stream as well for people to see. And which tractor model was that? Was that a Panther or a Cougar?
the very first one.
Yep, right there in this photo.
Okay. Oh, this is the #1 tractor that came off the assembly line in 1975. Now, this was the, and that one, I can't tell. I never could tell from the picture exactly, but that's a ST Series, Series 2, but I can't tell if it's a Cougar, Panther, or a Tiger at this point. It's not a Tiger. Okay, but it could either be a Cougar or a Panther. Okay, so.
Okay.
Yep.
These tractors just have kind of a life of their own. People still so respect the name, the horsepower that's carried on even as they've become Case IH Steigers. This is truly a tractor that's synonymous with this region, and being a part of its heritage, Lyle, is a huge respectable place for you to be in. I can't thank you enough for wanting to share and highlight this when folks get to Rolog this year. How excited are you to be a part of it?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I when I started working for on the transition team, at first Case IH was trying to kill the Steiger name. Okay.
Oh.
And yeah, so when I was doing the training, I'd always refer to Steiger, and every time I get stopped and say, no, it's the Fargo built tractor. And so that just kind of tore me up inside. And finally, it got so bad when they made me put a quarter in a jar every time I said Steiger. Okay. So, and by God,
you might have lost some of your 401k doing that, Lyle.
I did. I tell you what, and it was worth every quarter. So
that Steiger name comes with horsepower. It is synonymous with this region. As you said, there are loyal customers, and truly Steiger, they were maybe second place to Wagner tractors, but Steiger is the reason for the four-wheel drive industry we have now. Well, I mean, Wagner came in the market first.
That's right.
But certainly Steiger, but that's what I mean is they came in first, but you guys surpassed them as this tractor in the four-wheel drive market.
Yeah, and then
huge market.
We went worldwide, basically. You know.
Yes.
Yeah, they started the Steiger Australia Limited in about 75, 76, and that just blossomed. They took about a third of our production every year. So Australia did.
Wow.
So, yep. So. Yeah.
Wow. It's a proud heritage and history in this region. And so There are things going on every day, as you mentioned, Lyle. Folks can tour the Steiger tractors that will be present at Rolog over Labor Day weekend. There will be all of the history and memorabilia will be on display. You said, was that in the expo building?
Yeah, that's in the expo building. Yep.
And then you said in the theater there will be different films of Steiger equipment being shown.
Yeah, there'll be films from back in the early 70s, so like Series 1. There may be, and then Series 3, there'll be some on other models and stuff like that. So it should be quite fun and real lightning. I think the longest film is going to be 20 minutes. But
oh, nice.
But we'll see. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And I think, it's a lot of work to put this together, but I think it's going to be really well worth it. So,
Lyle, thank you so much for coming in today. Your enthusiasm might just be what it takes to get my brothers off the farm to come and see these Steigers in person, because they use one every day, but maybe we got to go see the vintage machine in action.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Lyle. Appreciate it. And when we come back, we'll have a recap of the weather. We'll have our Wednesday weather trivia for your chance to win a Darter Plastic Bait-Up Cup, all of that. And Bridgette's got some ag topics as well when we come back. And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus, 1:52 in the afternoon, and it's time for Wednesday Weather Trivia for your chance to win a Darter Plastic Bait-Up Cup. We'll take the first correct caller with the answer to today's Weather Trivia. And often, here's the question, often during the summer months, the National Weather Service will issue a tornado watch. And every so often, you'll see a PDS tornado watch. The question is, what does PDS stand for? So a PDS tornado watch. What kind of a tornado watch is this? What does a PDS stand for? 701-293-9000 for your chance to win a Darter Plastic Bait-Up Cup. So if you are an angler, you're going to love this, right, Bridgette?
Absolutely, because this thing is so handy. Keeps you from having to stick your hand in the slimy minnow bucket. Personally, I think that that's way easier during ice fishing season when the water's super cold. But this is so easy. You just get to pull the little strainer end up and get the minnow that you need for bait. And if you're an avid fisherman, whether it's hard water or in the summer, you're going to like this. And Darter Plastics supplies them for us to give away each week. And we love when you join us by calling the JLA Insurance phone line of 701-293-9000.
All right. Oh, we've got a caller. The Google machine must be working. Caller number one. Caller on line one. What's your name and what's your guess?
Michelle, and particularly dangerous situations.
You are correct. So if you ever hear a PDS tornado watch, you will know that you are in for a pretty bad situation. Tim Flackle's he said PDS stands for pretty damn scary.
Same thing.
Yeah, you're pretty close. But you are correct. We're going to put you on hold, and congratulations. Have you seen these Darter Plastic Bait-Up Cups?
No, I haven't.
Great. Well, you will enjoy it, so we're going to put you on hold, and Addison is going to get all the relevant info from you, okay?
Okay,
Excellent.
thank you.
Congrats. Yeah, I like Tim Flackle's answer as he walked in the studio there. That could be valid, but that's not the correct answer, but I like it.
Thank you to listeners who have been busy using not only the JLA Insurance phone line for questions, but also they've been emailing me, ag@flagfamily.com, with a variety of Steiger history questions. One that we're going to track down the answer to is, how did Steiger choose the names, the Bearcat, the Cougar, the Panther, in their early lineup? And I'm going to get that answer for us. I've already reached out to the Steiger Heritage Club in order to get the answer, and I'll then announce it when I know. And secondly, I had an email with a question about Steiger videos, and I need just a little bit more information from that listener. What kind of videos are you looking for? And I'll make sure to connect you with the Steiger Heritage Club, because they have access to all sorts of archives, and they would be able to make sure that listener gets to see and hear the things that they would like to see and hear. So Steiger always makes people smile when we do any of these segments, especially even with other tractor history. We all just like to hear it and see it. And as Terry, our caller, said, those Steigers were a massive machine in the field when they were brought out.
No doubt. And Bridgette, we had a caller during break, Bob, who is he's out in Lakes Country, and he is going to be baling. Addison, you took is he baling hay, or he's going to be baling? Did he say?
He's probably both.
Okay, so anyway, so he was wondering about the rain forecast out in Lakes Country, and Bob, if you're listening, it looks like a chance for some showers and thunderstorms tonight in your area. It doesn't look to be a big deal. I think most of it's going to be just to your south, but you could pick up about a quarter inch out of that. But again, it's going to be kind of like what we saw last night, where let's say Fargo picks up over an inch, and then up at the airport, 5-6 miles away, you're 1,100 or 1,600. So it's going to be something like that in Lakes Country. Although I don't think you're going to be seeing an inch of rain. I think at most maybe a quarter inch, and then dry from all day Thursday night looks dry, and then the next chance of rain coming in Friday night. So if you see rain tonight, and that's not a guarantee, but the chance is there, you'll see about 24 hours of dry weather. So hopefully, Bob,
absolutely.
that helps you out a little bit.
Wonderful. Glad to hear this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one more thing to keep in mind. Certainly, when Bob talked about haying, boy, it's a little dry out there. And we got to make sure that we are practicing good and careful ideas, you could say, when we're out in the field. Combine fires, hay bale fires, all of this stuff is certainly critical at any year, but this year with the dry weather, it's been even worse. So when you think about it, as you're driving down the road, you may notice that there are a lot more water trucks parked at the edge of the field. That farmers are keeping those close, because if you get any type of hot bearing or a warm piece of equipment, they are making sure the water is close by. We are probably better now than we ever were about carrying fire extinguishers on our grain carts, our combines, in our service trucks. And if you ever see a field, and the reason this comes up is it happened last week in my home county, where they had a fire in a stubble field. It didn't burn the standing grain, but it did burn the rest of the field where it had already been harvested. And at the end of the day, they parked the equipment where the grass or where the stubble had been burned, because it's not going to burn there again. And then also spread your equipment out. You don't park everything close and tight and uniform, for fear that if there is a spark, it can move from one machine to the other. So if you're wondering why people are doing that, that would also be why. And I've heard a lot of farmers say they're holding off on doing fall tillage because it's really just going to burn up the shanks and shovels on their tillage tools, and it could cause sparks that could ignite a grass fire. So we're just going to see a lot of people holding back.
Yeah, common sense, right? No doubt. No doubt. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us today on Weather and Ag in Focus. Don't go anywhere, though. The Jay Thomas Show with guest host Tim Flackel coming up next.